Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Guys, I gotta tell you something. I hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. Hope y'all had an awesome dinner. I hope everything went well. Enjoy the holidays. Get back to work on Monday. But I want to do a quick Christopher Mitchell video just exposing the lies and the manipulation, the scamability, and what he tries to do to get these people that are just searching for a way to make a dollar. And let me just say this, if you guys are going to mastermind groups, stop it now. That's where he's getting the bulk of his money from. So I get a lot of this information from subscribers, and keep it coming. Appreciate all you guys texting, sending me emails. If you ever want to reach out to me on an email, you can reach out to me at doublejackpot01@gmail.com. So we're going to jump into this video, and we're just going to talk about the last 4 or 5 things he posted online. It's hard being the GOAT. It really is. The GOAT. Okay, so he claims to be the GOAT. He walks around and shows $25,000. He tries to show these dinners and these meals, these penthouse suites. You know, there's nobody in their right mind that shows this kind of lifestyle without the hopes of trying to lure you into his shenanigans and his charades and his BS. So some of his posts consist of this, and I don't have no notes, no whiteboards. I'm going straight off of memory and straight off of just what I have read. So he goes off and he says, you know, he did a video last year at this time, a little bit before this time, when Ohio State cost him all that money. You saw that video of mine showing him how pissed off he was at Ohio State when he lost all that money because they didn't cover. Okay, so now he's saying, who do you take, Ohio State or Michigan? You know, all his thread, his whole entire thread, except for maybe 1 or 2 people in the comments, said Ohio State. Okay, then he says somebody asked him finally who he took. Of course, he never posted who he took before the game or after, you know, during the game. He didn't flash a ticket. So without proof in any kind of sporting event, you just can't believe anybody. Show me the ticket, show me the proof, show me something. But they asked who he took, and he says he took Michigan for $7,500. No ticket, no nothing. He's a big Ohio State fan, as you know, being from Ohio, being from Columbus. So you can almost bet he took Ohio State, and that's probably, he's still steamed and pissed off about that loss. A blowout, I might add. But again, he claims to took Michigan in that game for $7,500. You know, I don't believe it, because he can't pick a winner. He can't do anything sports related. So scratch that. Then he's going off about, this is a good one. He says, I was nervous going to I was paying $1,800 a month to live in a little crappy apartment in Columbus, Ohio. I was nervous about that. Well, they probably, you know, didn't pay their rent anywhere, because Stacy and Christopher have a habit of stiffing people and not paying their bills. So then he goes off to Vegas and he says, was I nervous about paying $3,000 to lease his condo? You know, the one he wanted you to believe he purchased? And I guarantee you, if he purchased it back then, he'd probably be making money today. But that's another story. So was he nervous? He says, yeah, I wasn't sure I could pay the $3,000. You know, a multi-millionaire, a guy that makes $5,000 a day, can't make $3,000 in rent. Just shake your head at this foolishness. So he stays there just about a year, and then he moves to Frisco, Texas. Then his next post says, was I nervous and wasn't sure I could pay $6,000 a month in rent? Huh, you're a multi-millionaire. I mean, even if you prepaid the rent for a year, you're at what? Let me do my public school math. 12 times 6, $72,000 for the year. Claims to make $100,000 a month. What's the big problem, Christopher? Why would you even post that, being about nervous? You make $100,000 a month, $5,000 a day. All your mastermind scams, all your inner circle scams. This is the guy that says, Was I sure I could pay that? He was nervous about that. He's got to tell you how much he pays in rent. He's got to tell you show all this cash. I mean, who photographs the bill when they're at a steakhouse? Who photographs their liabilities and their expenses? Who sends you that kind of stuff? People that are trying to make you feel, oh my God, I want to be like him. Then his next post, he says he's leaving Frisco, wherever he's going, and his new rent bill is $10,000 a month. This is a guy that couldn't manage any kind of money. Know lots of people like him. They make they make money, but they can't save it or manage it. That's his problem. He can't manage anything. So now he's got a $10,000 a month liability and expense. Let me tell you, a normal person, what they would have done, they'd have found they got all this money coming in there saying, hey, I better buy something. You know, I could buy something, $3,000-$4,000 a month, or pay cash for it. If you're a multimillionaire, go secure a residence and start a family and stop being a nomad traveling around. He has to have a rental place because A, he doesn't have a W-2 income, and he can't prove anything about his income, and he's not loanable, he's not bankable, and he can't do anything outside of getting rent. You know, he doesn't make any money, normal ways of making money, and that's fine and well, but this guy is also close to 45 years old and he's never owned a thing in his life. This is a guy that 2-3 years ago was doing payday loans, pawn shops, selling everything they had, getting his stupid wife to give him divorce money so he had a bankroll to go to casinos, saying, oh my God, my wife I just lost another $5,000. I lost another $10,000. He always had to make these phone calls. You know, he said 2-3 years ago that he's lost $300,000 to $400,000. You know, that's why he has to charge you guys to make up for all his learning curve. So he's nervous about the 1,800, the 3,000, the 10,000, and this is a multi-millionaire that, you know, makes $5,000 a day. I'm making $5,000 a day, $100,000 a month. I'm not even having that discussion with you guys. Do you think some of these YouTube stars out there that y'all see their channels and they're making crazy money, they're telling you about their rent, how much they spend? Then he says, if you want to become rich, go get yourself a millionaire, and you pay him to be your mentor, or use him to be your mentor. It doesn't work like that, Christopher. Normal topics aren't like that. You gotta see somebody and you have to figure out how to get there. They're not going to just sit you down and say step 1, step 2. They don't want to be responsible for your risk and your ability to get to where they're at. You know, nobody gets to be this kind of crazy status that you're trying to achieve in 1 or 2 years. It doesn't work like that. If it was that quick and easy, everybody would do it. You just have an addiction and you're a gambling loser degenerate. You know, that's what you are. So he shows no proof on the Michigan-Ohio State game. He talks about how he was nervous for paying all these crazy rents and trying to impress you with a $3,000 rent, a $6,000 rent, and now a $10,000 rent. Oh, I want to be like Christopher. Then he goes on to post this really silly saying. He has a picture of him, his wife, his kids, and his brother, and they're in a little small town of Columbus, Ohio somewhere. And they say they're outside of Columbus, in a small town in Ohio. And he says, and I quote, "Thank God Thanksgiving's only one day a year so I can get back to the big city." It's like you're doing your family a favor by coming to spend one day with them. That's a strange thing to say on a Facebook post. Thank God. If I was your father-in-law and I read that, I'm like, good riddance. Who even cares if you came? You can spend one lousy day with your wife's family. Just shake your head. You know, this guy's a selfish, narcissistic, ego-driven, look at me. He admits, I want all the attention. I want all the attention. I want all the attention. And that's what you get. You got somebody that just is a selfish. That's why he tries to say how he donates to all these charities and all this stuff. You know, this guy's a cheap, chiseling, degenerate gambler trying to get people that are so desperate that they think there's some success to this guy's logic. There's zero logic. I'm going to give Christopher the biggest, and I'm going to expand on videos of this. First, people, don't give him a dime. He says, oh, I want to thank all these people, these jealous haters out there for giving me advice. It's making me richer. Let me tell you something. When you Google Christopher Mitchell's name, it's 99.9% negative. That's not good. That's not good advertising. People see that. Nobody's hating on Christopher. If your stuff worked, I'd be your biggest cheerleader. I would tell you guys, I'd endorse you. If this stuff worked, I'd be all over it, bro. Trust me, I'd be all over it. But you are a con man, and you're a bad person. So is your wife. I'm probably going to have a little visitor coming up here in a second. He wants to make another appearance. Say hi, everybody. Anyways, he needs some attention. But, getting back to Christopher Mitchell and his antics, because he just puts on antics. He says, how his whole goal, I mean, if he just wants to be rich so bad, he's the only person that's online saying, telling you bragging about his wealth, flashing tons of cash, flashing all kinds of money, and trying to make you believe this is some kind of real deal. If he had a winning ticket to that Michigan game, trust me, he'd have took a picture of it and showed it. He just showed it. If he ever does anything successfully, he brags about it. This guy's a bragger. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And shame on you, Stacy, for even looking up to this guy. That just means your life and your self-esteem is more pathetic than somebody just mooching off you. That's really the way you want your son to be portray his father, as a gambling degenerate that has to go out and scam people because you offered nothing. Where's all these people from the book, the $1 Million Blueprint? Where are they at? Where's all these millionaires? It's been 2-3 years. Where are they at? Where's all these people from your mastermind group? Why aren't they up there doing videos, endorsing, telling you everything, how great life is? You got desperate people, and desperate people do stupid things. That's the worst thing. The worst time to buy a car, when you're desperate. Worst time to try to find a home, when you're in a hurry, desperate. Worst time to do anything in life is when you're desperate. There's a lot of people that have no idea how to manage their life. That's why, one of the most important classes you can educate yourself on is personal finance. It's just what it is. It's personal. Okay? So you have Christopher Mitchell, being the loser that he is, tell you all about his rents, all about his cash, all about his winning strategies, everything. And it's just not so. So I'm going to wrap this video up on the last thing that he says, and join his mastermind groups. To get anything from any type of mastermind group, it's got to be affordable. Not 5,000, not 10,000, not 1,000. It has to be affordable. The reason it's set that it is because he's got to live off of that money that you guys pay him. You don't need to host a mastermind group on a yacht, on a jet. Man, go have your mastermind group in a room at a restaurant that you can rent. Buy everybody dinner, Christopher, or tell them whatever they pay, it's going to go to their dinner, and host a meeting in a way that can be, the average person can go to it. Oh, I don't want average people there. Yeah, well, you're not Change Your Life vlog. Well, goodness gracious, most people are below average to average. They don't have $5,000. Guys, if you guys got $5,000 and $10,000 to blow on some fool like Christopher, go out yourself and put $5,000 in VTI. It's a Vanguard ETF, VOO, QQQ, and let it sit there for 25 years. I promise you, you're going to do better than you're welcome for that free advice. That's all I can say. Put that in an ETF that mirrors the S&P 500, and in 20 years you'll be way better off than anything Christopher Mitchell is going to give you. There's a free advice. Take it for what it's worth. But if you're just going to piss off $5,000, Go invest in yourself and do that for your family. Okay, in closing, I want to say this. Here's what a fool and a dunce that Christopher Mitchell really is. If he would just be a regular guy, not showing all this money, and just talk to you people like regular people that are watching his channel, y'all wouldn't be so irritated and so, questionable on this guy. Nobody cares about seeing his money and everybody tunes in for you for humor and laughs, and you can't even say, "Oh my God, I'm just doing this to get people to tune in." No, because your YouTube ad revenue and your YouTube money is not enough to support your family. So that's not it. You may like the attention, but you're getting negative publicity. You're not getting positive publicity. If you're not getting positive publicity, negative publicity is going to hurt you, especially the way it goes online. And then if you were just act like a regular guy, a regular normal person, and tell people the truth, and just be real instead of this phony, fake person, everybody would probably gravitate you in a more real way. Just free advice for you, Christopher. Be a real, normal person. Don't be this phony, fake fraud looking for this miracle way of trying to get people rich. Biggest way to stay rich, people, go as far away from this Christopher Mitchell character as you can. He's not going to bring anything to the table. He's not going to do anything for you. And, the guy has never shown any proof of anything. I mean, if he's questioning $1,800, $3,000, $6,000, $10,000 rent payment, think about that. And he's saying he makes $5,000 per day, over $100,000 per month, all these revenue streams. That's nothing you're discussing. That's basically saying, oh my God. That's why I say he doesn't do himself any justice. And then he's trying to get all this free publicity and all these cheap magazines you never heard of, or online little rags of magazines and online stuff. It's really, it's not any kind of publicity or anything that's going to do him good. You never heard of these magazines. You never heard of these little internet stories. He went out and sought this out. Nobody's out there reaching out for Christopher Mitchell content and saying, show us how to get rich. Guys, I'm just pointing out the basic, obvious stuff that he posts online. So, guys, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, I'd like you guys to. It really helped me out. Hit the video like button and stay tuned for the next video. Talk to y'all soon.